Separation? I haven't spoken to my parents today. I don't miss them. And I suffer from what David Hume called the problem of induction, which is for the past 40, 50 years, 60 years, I call and they pick up the phone. Every night after class, I call. I speak to my father for 10 minutes. I speak to my mom for 10 minutes. In the morning, my mom usually calls. So there is no anxiety there. I know that when I call, they'll pick up. Just in case I call tonight and I hear my mom's voice trembling a little, I will ask, what's going on? What's wrong with you? Are you sick? And then she breaks down saying, your dad had a heart attack. He's dead. All of a sudden, there is this feeling of separation, loss, that I'm left with images, but these images no longer have a physical container. I have an image in my head that tonight when I go home, I'm going to call my father. It has a physical container. But tomorrow after class, the desire will be there. I'm going to, like addiction, I'm going to pick up the phone, call, but my father will not pick up. And I feel as if I am separated from something I want in my life, but it can no longer be there. This morning while I was pouring concrete, I got a text, I don't know from who, a 916 area code, probably one of my friends. Amir, I heard that you had open heart surgery. Can I come visit you? So I have no idea who this person is. I just deleted the text. I don't care. There is no anxiety there. There is no care there. There is no interest or curiosity there. I don't feel like I'm separated from a long-lost friend. So whenever you talk about separation, there has to be some emotional connection there. And that emotion must create a good amount of meaning and relevance for you. It creates who and what you are. The more intense and the more all-consuming, the less power you have over yourself. And when it's not there, the more you feel abandoned, isolated. You know, it's kind of like you fall in love, and let's just say love is Yahweh, and it trickles down, and it is housed in a physical body of someone, let's call him John, and you get to meet Yahweh through John by this thing called love. And that particular experience creates Sabbath for you. And you find the relationship so sacred that when you gather with your friends, you realize that they're using relationship, intimacy, sex in vain. They're making a mess of this whole thing. Why? Because you have found your paradise down here, but they have lost it. You have your Sabbath, but they have been expelled from it. And then he says, I have to go to work, or I have to go on a business trip for 4 or 5 days. Now, your body, your mind, your soul has found Sabbath in this particular space with this particular person. In his absence, it's like the umbilical cord is cut. You've been separated. روزها فکر من این است و همه شب سخنم که چرا فارغ از احوال و دل خویشتنم از کجا آمدم آمدنم بهر چه بود به کجا میروم آخر ننمایی وطنم مرغ باغ ملکوتم نیم از عالم خاک دو سه روزی قفسی ساختند از بدنم. That in union you grow wings and you live in the sun. In separation, your wings are clipped and you live in a cage. And you want to sing, but there is no one to hear it. And even if there are people who can hear, they don't really understand. You only speak about separation because you have tasted union. In union, you have experienced yourself basking in the light. In separation, you're plunged into darkness. And in darkness, you remember how light or union made you feel. Then you become sad. In sadness and sorrow, longing, yearning, these are like cries without shedding tears that take place inside your soul. You know, you sit and you pray. It's kind of like what August Comte used to do. You paint a picture of this girl that you loved. Now, August Comte hated religion. He didn't believe in it, even though he made a cult and he became the head of this cult and people worshiped him. He felt the pangs of separation so intensely that every night he would kneel on the chair, look at the painting and worship it. Separation is agonizing. And the more you care, the more you love, the more your emotions are there and they're intense, the more you feel the pains of separation. I don't know if you know the story of Layli Majnun. So what happens is they're sitting in the classroom, Majnun, who is a boy, and Layli, who is a girl, and they're supposed to sit and just keep writing the word Allah. And by chance, the instructor, the teacher, looks at the notebook of Majnun, this boy, and instead of writing Allah, he writes Layli's name, the girl's name, Layli, 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 Layli. And the teacher says, you're supposed to write the name of God. Why are you writing the name of that girl over there? Because union. So he gets slapped and spanked. And his parents come, and what they realize is that when the teacher was smacking this boy on the hand, the girl suffered as well. She had the same marks. So they separate. In separation, this boy couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. He's now a grown man, he's like 20. By chance they meet in the bazaar somewhere, like Lakeshore, and their eyes are glued, but they're not meant to stay forever. Layli gets married to some prince out there, and Majnun, this boy, is stranded in the desert. In separation, the desert becomes a symbol of the psychological and spiritual intellectual condition of the person who is suffering separation. And in the desert, what do you have? You have nothing. You have only sand, and you have the scorching sun. There are nobody, no friends, no one you can talk to. There are no shades. You burn in the agony of separation. And so out of desperation, this young boy talks to a deer. Run to Layli's house, who lives with this prince. Tell her, I miss her, I love her. And this is another symbol that in separation, there are ways you can connect. There are ways you can release the tension, the stress. You write, you pray, you cry, you sit, you reflect. You do all the things by yourself when you were doing it in union with this other person. So you know, my own teacher passed away a couple years ago. I have a picture of him in the office, right in front of the computer. So whenever I'm like writing, or when I'm not writing, when people are in my office and they're like talking gibberish, I kind of look at the picture and say, man, you know, he did all this work with me, and I'm wasting it by talking to this idiot over there. Or I'm watching like a YouTube clip on how to use nail guns. Because the problem with separation is that it creates a good amount of pain. And again, we're not the sort of creatures that enjoy pain too much. So we try to do things to forget. Maybe drink, maybe smoke, maybe just go for a walk, do all sorts of crazy things. But if you have enjoyed the union, if you have enjoyed the experience, what happens in time is that you will grow accustomed to pain, so much so that it becomes a source of creativity. The poem I've read before, or I've said before, if it's the right kind of pain, find a way to become intimate with it. It's its own remedy. There is a passage in Rumi that he says, you know, love is poison. It's so strange because love is also the antidote to the poison. You know, it creates sickness, it also creates health. That's how it is.